Hello, my absolutely wonderful and lovely people. I'm Amia from Resonance Astrology and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at the astrology of the week ahead of June 2nd till June 8th, 2025. We have an exciting week ahead of us, a lot of fun themes, a lot of exciting news ahead of us with Jupiter later on next week moving into the sign of Cancer. But this whole week really feels like a buildup of that energy, and this is what we are kind of going to focus on. There are a few quick announcements that I want to make before we start off this video, and then I also just want to share some brief reflections because I have been on holidays. If you watched last week's videos, you will know that I have been to Serbia over the past week, and I know with the 12th house uploaded and everything, it feels like I haven't even really been away. For me, it does feel like I have completely been away. I mean, because I kind of have. But obviously, wherever I go, I'm observing astrology transits happening. So I just want to share a few personal reflections and weave in some Gemini themes here and there. Just some like real life examples and all of that, because I always find these extremely helpful and useful for my own astrology studies and just being a person, seeing the world through the lens of archetypes, like astrological archetypes. So this is what we're going to look at this week, and I'm also super excited, okay? I'm a bit tired just because I literally came back today in the morning. Me and my brother took a super early flight. We had to get up at around 4 a.m. As the flight was just around 6:50 a.m. So we had to be at the airport super early. I slept a bit there. I haven't slept really the night. So yeah, I am a bit tired. Sorry, my energy is not the best right now, but I'm bringing you what I can with this video because I am actually genuinely enthusiastic being back and creating content. I could feel how I miss that, and I've already also started writing, Jupiter in Cancer horoscopes, which should be up this week, probably around Thursday, which is Jupiter's day. Very fitting. So you'll get these, and yeah, I'm very excited to dive back into it because I'm very passionate, even though again my energy is probably not showing it fully right now, so please forgive me, but I am generally excited to be back and do things. It's also funny because I'm literally going on an extended weekend this weekend. I'm going away with my mom because it's Pentecost. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. We always have free days here on at least a Monday. So we're going on an extended weekend nearby in Germany. It's close to us. We booked a nice hotel, and I also just wanted to, go on holidays with my mom again because that's super fun. So, yeah, this is this. One huge thing that I want to deeply say thank you to everyone. While I was away, I reached 600 followers on YouTube and on Instagram. Like, what the hell? Both these platforms, I'm a bit speechless. Like, I don't even really know what to say, but like, I'm just very, very grateful. I'm so grateful that whatever I'm saying resonates. This is why it's called Resonant Astrology. I really hope to be able to bring some sort of resonance into your life with what I am doing. Because to me, this is astrology at its best is really when it hits that resonant string inside of you and you can see that all of this is part of a whole. Everything is kind of connected together. And that's where the resonance kicks in. That feeling of oh yes, everything is interconnected. My silly little daily things are connected just as much as the huge and big things. And all of this also has been so helpful for my own personal developmental journey. I feel like even in this past few months where I just showed up more consistently has been so useful and helpful for me as a person to grow and evolve. And so, yeah, it's really, I don't know. like, I guess I don't have the best words right now, but I'm just extremely thankful. I'm so thankful for everyone that stuck around and found any sort of use in what I said, and also thankful for me for pushing through, and for, you know, ever since I started these weekly overviews, I've actually been consistent with them. I haven't missed a single one. So, and I do plan on doing it however long it's going on. So yeah, definitely a big huge thank you. And this is what I have for here. Then some other exciting things. I already mentioned that the Jupiter and Cancer horoscopes are on the way. Again, probably uploaded on Thursday, Jupiter Day this week. We also have the Gemini Decan Dance Workshop that is happening on June 15th at 7:30 p.m. Central European Time. If you're unfamiliar what the decans are, which actually might be one of the reasons you might want to join the workshop first and foremost. And also don't worry, we have introductory YouTube videos here on this channel for free. If you're new, you just want to get a taste of what the decans are, like, that's a great place to start. The decans are the 10 degrees increments of a zodiac sign, since a zodiac sign is 30 degrees. And so if we break it down into 3 segments, each consisting of 10 degrees, we get the decans. Each of the decans is ruled by a specific planet, which gives us a unique taste and flavor into how that part of the zodiac works. We can apply this to our own natal charts, because having planets in certain signs at a certain degrees gives us a different flavor on how, let's just take Mercury, for example. Mercury is currently in Gemini. Depending on if you have Mercury at, let's say, 7 degrees of Gemini, 13 degrees of Gemini, or 28 degrees of Gemini, will be all in different decans, will play out differently in your life, and also give that natal Mercury in Gemini a different flavor to work with. And we already recorded the Decans of Gemini video here on YouTube, so you can totally check that out. Again, it's like a free introduction, and we also talk about the corresponding tarot cards. Super fun thing to notice how the tarot cards are connected to the Decans, and the workshops are really the interactive space where we play and dance. Decan dance, right? We go much more in depth in example charts. Talk about life transits that are happening right now and all of that. So it's much more information loaded. But again, we just want to let people have an introduction, and then the workshops itself are $11. Very generous price. If you want to join for just one workshop, maybe you have Gemini placements, you want to join for a Gemini workshop, you can of course also join for the whole workshop series, which is the whole year, which is going through all the decans of all the zodiac signs, and signing up for that will save you money. Instead of $121, it's only $111. And the links for signing up are down below. You can either sign up just for this workshop or for the whole year. And if you do sign up for the whole year ahead, you will obviously get all the pre-recordings that we already have done, because we have already had the Aries workshop. We already had the Taurus workshop as well. So you will get all these recordings, okay? You're not missing out on anything. There's also a few people that already signed up, but they missed the workshops due to personal reasons. So it's always good. Even if you sign up for just the Gemini workshop and you can't make it live, there is a recording. We will send it out to you. So just letting you know about that. Again, the date, June 15th, 2025 at 7:30 Central European Time. So next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that. We're still in Gemini season. Then what I also wanted to mention, the house series is complete. I don't know if you saw, the 12th house got released last week, which means that the whole house series that started off, which literally kickstarted off this channel in and of itself, has come to an end, is completed. We have gone through all the 12th houses. And I created a playlist, which you can go through if you want. I'm also going to link it down below. So really, all the links are going to be down below as always. And yeah, you can like go through all of that. Sometimes I feel like it's also useful. Maybe you watch a horoscopes video and you're like, okay, let's say Saturn in Aries, right? Saturn newly ingressed into the sign of Aries. Saturn in Aries is traveling through my 5th house, right? Like what, maybe you want to gain a deeper look at what the 5th house means, not just the horoscope video, but just what the 5th house means, because Saturn in Aries is going to be there for 2.5 years, which also means that Neptune in Aries, this is, for example, if you're a Sag rising, right? Neptune and Saturn in Aries are going to travel through a 5th house. So maybe you want to check out what does the 5th house mean in a broader perspective, like an over 1 hour long video just focusing on the 5th house, which can then give you a much bigger and better glimpse into what this means for your personal life. I feel like for this, I mean, this is literally why I created the house series, okay? Just to make it easily accessible to people if they want to take a deeper dive into one specific house. And I feel like especially with all these new transits coming along, especially that are much more long lasting, as already said, Neptune in Aries for the next 14 years, Saturn in Aries for the next 2.5 years, Jupiter in Cancer for the next year, Uranus moving into Gemini next month for the next 7 years, also Pluto in Aquarius for the next basically 20 years. All of these transits that are super long lasting are going to be in a specific house in your chart. And while horoscopes videos are good, they are general. Obviously, again, the house series is also general in the sense that we are not looking at your specific chart. This is why, getting an actual reading from an astrologer is useful, because then it's tailored specifically to you and your chart and your placements, which we can never ever fully cover in a general horoscope video. But I do think having just a house playlist where you can dive deeper into one specific house can be very extremely useful for you. And again, I mean, it's for free on YouTube. So if anything, you are just expanding your knowledge, and this is exactly what I wanted to create this house series for. So if you're interested in any of the newly ingressed transits or the upcoming ones and want to take a deeper look into which house it's affecting you, the house series is literally perfect for that. So yeah, again, links will be down below. And this is my announcement segment, which is now finished. Now we're gonna talk about the reflections, which are I feel like they just fit so deeply, so neatly into the archetype of Gemini. And I first off want to start off, which is interesting. I flew back today. We are now going back to when I flew, which is exactly a week ago. Exactly last Monday, I flew to Serbia, and this was a very chaotic flight. It was when, like a day before, if I remember correctly, or maybe 2 days before, but Mercury and Uranus came together in Taurus for the last time. So, bringing up an electric feel. Honestly, for me, like Mercury and Uranus, I always think of this MGMT song, Electric Feel. That is just so Mercury, Uranus to me. It was also the last one in the sign of Taurus. And then, I really thought that Mercury moving into Gemini in its home sign would make everything run smoothly, all of that. No, was I wrong? Because first of all, we could not do the online check-in. For whatever reason, it did not function. Then we woke up early enough. We had a later flight than today, but we woke up early enough. We went on the right train to be there 2 hours early. Then we get on the train. There is a technical issue. We have to sit on another one. Then we have to sit on another. We had to sit over 5 or 6 times in total. Maybe even 7 times if I'm not quite sure. But like, what the hell? This is a journey that doesn't take so long. in this case, it did. And, obviously you feel the people with every new train stop, because we're going to the main station, is getting filled and crowded with more and more people. We're all cramped inside. In Switzerland, this is not normal, okay? Maybe during rush hour, it can get a bit cramped. Usually, though, people have enough space. Here, it's not like in India, Tokyo, all the stuffed trains you're seeing. So, and people here, time TM is a big thing here. So everyone's naturally freaking stressed when the trains are running late or not according to time and all of that. Then we don't even make it to the main train station. That's the thing. And every time we're losing more time. And so we're like, what the hell? We thought we would make it on time. All of a sudden, now we're like, I don't know if we are gonna be able to get there on time. Especially because we can't even check in online and we only have hand luggage, okay? That's the main point. Like, we only have hand luggage. That's the thing. Like, we don't even need to go to check-in. We don't need to put in any bags. So, because the check-in closes like 40 minutes before the departure, we're like, damn, okay, like this is actually not so good right now. Then we have to get off on a stop, like 2 stops before the main station. And first of all, we're like, maybe we should get a cab. I do 2 cabs, both of them cancel on me. Amazing. My brother is like calling the airlines and everything, like, oh, is there something you can do? Like, this is our situation. Like we just can't check in online. Like, maybe if we at least could check in online and go through the security, like we could maybe make it. But every minute passing is obviously a minute passing and time running out. Then we take the tram to not the main station, but the one before, which leads us essentially to a different direction, but we do make it to the airport in the end, but way too late, sadly. Also in the tram, things are cramped again. I see a guy having a panic attack. Like, I feel so sorry because I struggled not my whole life, I can't say my whole life, but the last great chunk of my life with panic attacks. I'm even surprised that I didn't get one, because I was like, that's like, this whole situation is something that could have potentially been very triggering. And so I don't know, like, it's so weird. Sometimes I just do well in these stressy situations, but in normal ones I don't. In any case, we make it to the airport. We run basically to the check-in. But yeah, the gates are already closed. This is the first time in my entire life that I missed a plane. Never ever happened to me. And even here, it wasn't our fault at all. The technical difficulties, which again seems very Mercury Uranus. And also, I feel like I really underestimated the fact that everything that comes, like all the planets that move into Gemini right now, which in Monday was Mercury, and we were also preparing for the new moon in Gemini, meeting Saturn and Neptune immediately, because Saturn had just like one day prior moved into Aries. And I'm like, oh, see, interesting. Things are slowing down. Like, you feel like, oh, Mercury's entering into Gemini and everything's going to be smooth and good. No, there's some weird technical difficulties that we can't seem to fully find the source of, very like Neptune in the back. And then we need to slow down. Saturn, we can't make it on time. So then we have to rebook, which costs us extra money. It is a bit annoying, but this is what we had to do, essentially, because we really had to go there to meet family, to celebrate 2 birthdays, get a very social time, So I'm like, I was heading event after event, had a lot, not a lot of alone time, which stresses me TF out. Because I need my alone time to feel okay. I'm generally so happy that I'm home again right now. The people know me there, people know that I'm a more introverted person, so that's all okay. But yeah, it was just a very like Gemini time, the social interactions, like we're going here and we're going there and we're doing this and we're doing that. And this time around, I just decided to embrace the spontaneity of Gemini and just like rule myself into that. And that was actually pretty cool. And obviously Serbo-Croatian is my mother tongue. And I think languages are so fascinating, right? Because every language has a sort of soul, is like an entity in and of itself. The way that I speak English is not the same that I speak Serbo-Croatian, is not the same that I speak German, is not even the same that I speak Swiss German. And so being there, in the culture, and it's like, I can go there like once a year, like it's not that crazy. But still, it's like you switch into like a different type of soul identity, And I feel like that's very Gemini-like, because Gemini is switching different hats, like being an actor, switching into different roles. And for me, it was really interesting because for the first time I was like, can I imagine maybe just like not living there, because I wouldn't want to actually like fully live there, but just maybe eventually having an apartment there or something where I would go there multiple times a year, maybe for a longer period than just 1 or 2 weeks. And that was like, that thought process was just really interesting. And also, being around my cousins, but also especially, this was just a few days before, the wife of my father, from a second marriage, she had her 50th birthday. And so obviously a lot of people from like her side of the family there, which I don't really know that well, since they married when I was 17 or something. So she's in like a stepmom figure to me. Like I'm on good terms with her and everything, but like I don't know that side so well. And in Serbia, like my family is more from Novi Sad, and like her part of the family is more from Beograd, which is like the main city. Novi Sad is much cuter, and all of that, which I really appreciate. But yeah, so we had that birthday, and one thing that extremely annoys me about Serbia is just that everybody smokes. It's like insane. I feel like this country is a country where it's like weird if you don't smoke, and even in the restaurants, like you can still smoke indoor in the restaurants. So I feel like now my lungs are on a detox or something, just because simply I've sat in cafes and restaurants where people smoke inside. Like, that's just something I can't get over that. It really annoys me. Even in Croatia, which is a Balkan country, people don't smoke that much. Like Serbia, I feel like just everybody freaking smokes there, and it's annoying. Not really like, like my father doesn't smoke, but still my cousins kind of do. And then the wife of my dad doesn't as well. But they're like all the people around there. And it's like, and drinking is obviously part of the culture too. I don't drink either. I'm obviously freaking odd and all of that. And then I'm also like a vegetarian. So you can imagine. But being there at this like party is like, it's not an event that I would go to by my own. It's not something I would organize with my groups of people at all, especially not in Serbia, where everybody's gonna drink and smoke. Like, that's not my type of people. But it's interesting going there sometimes just to expose yourself that this is a reality in and of itself that exists, and people that live their lives a certain way that is different than your life. Because sometimes, and I get it, boundaries are good. Like we don't want to have people around us that drag us down. At the same time, sometimes our walls can be that high up where we just like don't expose ourselves to anything. And especially if we then are people that are more online, have some sort like more introverted, have more like home office type jobs, which I do, then it can be very tricky because you expose yourself just to a certain type of group, people, thoughts, and all of that for the most part. So being there, exposing myself to people, conversations, ways of being that are not my usual go-to conversations and people is very useful, and that's the Gemini energy. Okay, that's the Gemini energy. Just like wearing different hats, okay? You don't have to be this person. Like, you don't have to become this people. It's good still exposing yourself to different types of people that you would normally not necessarily hang out with. Because, at the end of the day, most of us have more things in common than anything else. And all of these people are extremely kind, which I guess, obviously no surprise. It's not like people that smoke are bad people or anything. I would still don't want to have them in my home smoking in my house, but still, it's like, I feel like it just does something important to us to realize, like, oh, there are connections, and just to our own psyche, like just exposing ourselves to new realities, because Gemini likes to do the whole like actor type of thing of like, what would it be if this were my life? What would it be if this were my personality? I've experienced this so much as a natal Gemini moon, especially throughout my teenage years. I changed a lot. And I know that obviously everyone changes a lot during their teenage years, but I think I can confidently say I changed more than the average Joe. And I'm super proud of that because I needed that. There's like this natural curiosity where Gemini just wants to explore for the sake of exploring and having different type of personas. That's why I'm also not surprised that I did acting for so long, because acting is like the perfect outlet for diving into a different reality and role without actually fully like becoming that person. Like, you act, you play a role, and then you get outside of the role. And that's just what I love about the Gemini archetype. And I feel like it's such a good thought exercise to do. Even this week, we still have a lot of mercurial energy in the air, especially all of this leading up to the Mercury Jupiter conjunction, which is happening by the end of this week, is like, think about all the lives that you could live, just like a thought experiment. But yeah, we're going to talk about this a bit more at the end. Is there anything else? Let me just like check my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. But I did talk already a lot, about these things. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I wrote a note here of like, these ingresses highlight how flexible we need to be without losing our center. I do think that's a good quote to put over the fact that we essentially have all planets except Uranus in fire and air signs right now. Obviously, all of this leading up to Jupiter and Mercury soon moving into Cancer and water. I think much needed water energy because, Uranus and Taurus, an earth sign, is like the most unstable planet that could be in an earth sign. So it's not helping at all. With the stability. So it's really up to us. It's really up to us. And again, Saturn and Aries taking that self-responsibility for our reality, for our thinking, what we expose ourselves to. Jupiter and Mercury and Gemini. Okay, which informations we are picking in. Only going to be even more prevalent once Uranus moves into Gemini. I'm saying this all the time, like, keep your social media intake in check because, you are your feed. You are your explore page. You are what you look at, what you see. And media consumption, there's nothing wrong with consumption. There's nothing wrong with information intake. It's just that we can easily overload our brains and ourselves. I catch myself doing that as well, when it's just like, oh, let me just quickly like scroll and everything. And then you lose so much time. And it's like, no. We're not doing that. We want to consume mindfully. So, very important to be flexible without losing our center. So taking that responsibility over how we co-create our reality with what we take in. Big, major like Aries and Gemini themes, which are in the air and in the fire right now, I guess I could say. Okay, very long intro. We still haven't fully talked about the astrology of the actual week ahead. We're going to do that now at around 30 minutes. Great. This is going to be a longer video, but I hope you guys are vibing with what I'm saying. I just want to say here in the middle, I kind of hate doing this, but we're like, just like if you've been vibing, if you've been vibing with this video, liking this video helps out immensely, more than you know. Even just commenting something helps out more than you know, and subscribing if you haven't already. But I assume that most people that watch this weekly overviews are the people that actually like regularly tune in. I feel like the other viewers that like just queue in sometimes are the ones that probably watch the horoscopes. So if you're here, love you. So you already know the drill. Like, I don't need to repeat myself. So let's get into the actual astrology of the week ahead, which is great. On Monday there's literally nothing crazy happening. There's no like major transit. Just the moon moves into Virgo, has already moved into Virgo, in fact. So this is what we're doing right now. Moon is in Virgo right now, ruled by Mercury and Gemini. So everything I said before, super applicable. On Tuesday we have the first quarter moon officially in the sign of Virgo. This is very much time for clarifying what emerged during the Gemini new moon that happened last week, a week prior, also on Tuesday, and just like releasing like some sort of tension through practical adjustments, right? Like moon in Virgo is very practical. We love when the moon is in an earth sign. Maybe not so much when it's in Capricorn, because the moon is not doing too well. But moon in Virgo, I think, is just very good at like getting down to the roots. And if things have been too emotional or all over the place, which can easily happen with the fire and air energy, it's just like a grounding force of being like, okay, let's pull out the spreadsheets, let's set up a good plan. And so I feel like the first quarter moon in Virgo is very, very good for that. Like clear, rational thinking helps integrate emotional shifts. Then on Wednesday, June 4th, moon enters Libra, which moon in Libra is always a balancing moon, is always it's a bit more emotionally or relationally reorienting after that Virgo moon. Also like a good day for connection, maybe more diplomacy. If you have crafted some sort of plan during the first quarter moon Virgo, time to maybe, do the more relational thing where it's like, okay, I crafted my plan. Now who do I need to get on board with to make it happen? Because we're heading to a full moon next week that is happening in the sign of Sagittarius, which is very big picture, and like which dream reality do I want to head into? So the Virgo first quarter moon in Virgo, afterwards moon in Libra, is a time for like, okay, what is that plan and what is the people that I need to get on board with to go to that dream reality? And just, like processing things through a more relational lens. Then on Thursday, June 5th, we have Venus in Aries sextiling Jupiter in Gemini. Again, this is not the last aspect, but second to last aspect that Jupiter in Gemini is getting before it moves into the sign of Cancer. This is... sextiles are positive. Sextiles are from the nature of Venus. So it's really boosting that Venus in Aries energy here. It's like a good day for sparking optimism and like connection, creative flow. Good day for that, definitely. Especially leading up. It's interesting because this full moon that is happening next week is preparing now under the guise of Jupiter still being in Gemini and its detriment, but will happen next week when Jupiter has already moved into the sign of Cancer, which I feel like is going to be such an overflow that like we don't even know yet. Like we don't even know. And I feel like this Venus and Aries sextile Jupiter and Gemini is just like this sexy spark in the back of really being like, dream big. Like go for it, be bold, be freaking bold and dream that new reality. Yeah, because like it can only be birthed through you, and Jupiter in Cancer is so much about birthing realities, okay? Because we are entering the realm of the moon goddess that has a lot of to do with fertility and birthing things. So we are heading into a very, very, very fertile time. Then on Friday, June 6th, we have Mercury in Gemini, sextile Mars in Leo, and also squaring the North Node in Pisces. Essentially, Mercury is going to be at the bending of the nodes, which I feel like amplifies all of this even more that I just talked about, because it's like a subtle course correction of like, where is my voice guiding me and how am I participating with the thoughts, with the things that I'm consuming, taking in, information dissection. Is it useful to me? Where am I heading? Because the head is the first, like our thoughts are the first place that we can make changes from, because thoughts are connected to the body or vice versa. Also talked a lot with my cousin now on holidays about the body and you know how it just like in psychotherapy and all of that, like it's just not talked about enough. Like we just focus on talking essentially and not connecting to the body. And this is like, once Jupiter moves into the sign of Cancer, it goes into, again, the realm of the moon, which is the body. The moon rules the body, TM. So there's like, the body keeps the score. We cannot escape the body anymore. We cannot escape the freaking body anymore. So I feel like the Mercury being in the bending of the nodes kind of just reminds us of that. It's like, can we have, and especially with, that sextile to Mars and Leo, let's not forget that as well, is like, can we have sort of like productive conversations with people or with ourselves when it comes to like understanding how we are co-participating in creating our realities with the way we think, because the way we think just influences everything. And then we have Venus entering the sign of Taurus, something we probably also all have been waiting for. I feel like, this is like last week and this week was just so like, woo, air and fire heavy. And now we are getting a bit more groundedness with Venus entering the sign of Taurus, her home sign, one of her home signs. And then, of course, Jupiter also moving into Cancer in its exaltation. Like, what a magnificent combination we are suddenly getting, with also some more difficult transits, like Saturn Aries is in its fall. Not the most easiest Saturn to deal with. So, anyhow, but that's like a conversation for next week, not for right now. But again, Venus returns to her home sign, so there is a greater focus on sensuality, beauty, again, embodiment, being in the body. Okay, like in June we are being in the body. We are being in the body in June. Again, slowing things down more and reconnecting what truly nourishes our mind, body, soul. That's very Venus and Taurus. Connecting to the arts and crafts, things that fill our earthly pleasures, okay? Because Venus in an earth sign, especially in Taurus in her home sign, is all about like our senses, and what that's why Taurus is like so associated with food so much, because this is what, like, taste is one of our senses. We want to nourish our body. Like, when was the last time you ate a meal fully in peace or just cooked without any distractions? That's like Taurus. That's Taurus vibes, Venus and Taurus vibes. And just like, what feels good to my body? So again, like, June is being in the body. Sorry, I'm like repeating myself here, but sometimes I write down these notes, and then obviously you talk and you're like, oh, okay, this is how it's also coming together. So when I repeat things, it's usually because it's something new I just realized in the moment myself, and just being like, oh yeah, this is interesting. And again, it's definitely a more stabilizing energy after that, Venus in Aries, especially because even though Venus is already outside of her post-shadow period, we still had part of that Venus retrograde in the sign of Aries. So it does feel like now that she is fully leaving Aries, we're like really good and done. And I like that. So, yeah, good time to plan more, do more concrete things. One thing though that I want to say is that, okay, but this is okay. On Saturday, let's first talk about this, and then we're gonna come back to Venus and Taurus. On Saturday, like the first thing that happens on Saturday, June 7th, is that Mercury in Gemini is sextiling Chiron in Aries. And for me, this is very much like, empowerment through articulation. In a sense that it really pokes at us to speak what has felt unspeakable for a long time. And to like bring back our power to us, because Mercury is in Gemini now in its home sign, so it's like healing through learning, teaching, and just like clarifying our story and what we really want to say. Like I feel like it's a good day to just because like the voice and what we say holds so much power, the way we speak about things, the way we think about things. All of that is going to be very prevalent on Saturday. Again, sextile is like a mini aspect, but I do think it plays just really well in everything that is going on here, and especially with all of this leading up to the full moon that is happening in Sagittarius, where, yeah, I feel like we really need to like be more concrete, and this could be a really liberating moment for all of that. Then we have the moon entering the sign of Scorpio. And so the moon actually immediately opposes Venus in Taurus. Venus in Taurus also is heading into a square with Pluto in Aquarius, which is it's a bit disruptive, right? Like Venus enters her beautiful home sign, but she's being disrupted with deeper, darker, brooding forces. Can also be, a good time to deepen emotional intimacy, and being very honest, because Scorpio needs a lot of honesty, and Pluto there as well. And there could be a bit of a tension between like what feels safe, what do I desire, but what does actually feel safe within me. In any regards, it is like, if something doesn't feel safe, slow down first and anchor into your body. Take a step back and then proceed. This is actually all I have to say. There's not so much to say. And if you're interested, the moon and Scorpio in general, I did, even though we're not in the realm of the Scorpio full moon right now, there's a whole video I did on the Scorpio full moon, which can just be applicable for the Scorpio moon in general, which you can watch because it's an interesting placement to deeply understand. And then on Sunday, final and last transit is Mercury conjoining Jupiter in Gemini at 29 degrees. I feel like it's interesting. Mercury is doing quite a lot, like always coming together with the planets before they're kind of ingressing into the next sign. I do feel like that conjunction because Mercury is in a good position, right? Jupiter and Gemini is in a detrimental position. So Mercury is definitely like overpowering here, you could say, just before Jupiter moves into its sign of exaltation here. So there's like a transformation that is happening between both of these, because the next day they're both moving into the sign of Cancer. And so there's like a crescendo of ideas, conversations, and realizations probably in the air. Sometimes the mind can race ahead, you know, so we need to ground ourselves. And it's just like the final downloads, okay? It's the final downloads of this whole transit, of this whole journey we have been on. Jupiter and Gemini, ever since Jupiter moved into Gemini last year, because we're heading into a new arc. Jupiter is the only planet out of all the ingresses this year, except Pluto as well, I guess, that does not move back into its former sign. Jupiter does not move back into the sign of Gemini once it goes retrograde. It stays in the sign of Cancer, okay? So we're really saying goodbye to Jupiter and Gemini for good on Sunday. But it is a great day for publishing, big picture thinking, you know, like declaring intentions aloud, speaking things out loud, speaking your things out loud. Definitely like a mental breakthrough type of thing, or just like perspective shifts. All of that. I said here, say what needs to be said. This is the last word before a deeper emotional chapter begins. So I feel like this is a good note to end this on, because yeah, we're obviously going to talk about this more next week, but just like to brief, like a glimpse, because it is a follow-up, right? Like astrology it's constantly happening. Just because this week is ending doesn't mean that the astrology is ending. There's constantly things going on, but we are heading into a week, the next week, where let me just pull out my agenda just so I don't say anything wrong. But yeah, again, as I already mentioned, Mercury and Jupiter move into the sign of Cancer on Monday. Both of them immediately squaring Saturn in Aries, and also connecting to Neptune in Aries. You know, that's whole brand new energy. And we also start off strong with freaking Venus squaring Pluto. And then we also have that, you know, full moon in Sag. We also have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus. So there's going to be a lot to talk about next week. So, you know, if you like this, if you want to stay updated on this weekly overviews and also like reflections, you know, subscribe and stay updated. I really like doing this weekly overviews. This one has taken me extremely long. Might be the longest one I did so far, but there was a lot to say, okay? Not surprising, during Gemini season and Mercury being in Gemini, there is a lot to say. And especially with the moon also being in Virgo today. If I don't stop now, I will be talking for another 2 hours. But this is generally what I have to say for this week, and what I will leave you with. So I wish you a lovely week ahead. We're going to see each other soon. And yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Bye.